It's time for That Was the Woke That Was with Andre Walker.
Hello and welcome to That Was the Woke That Was, the topical quiz show that asks you the wokest stories of the week. And we guarantee there's absolutely no snowflakes allowed. Well, on my teams tonight, we've got Lizzie Cundy and Pete Barnes, and of course, Anna McGovern and the lovely Mahyar Tousi. Let's get this party started. So first, to Pete and Lizzie.
Yes.
In his new book, Prince Harry has revealed that he had a frostbitten penis at William and Kate's wedding. You know, this man is one of the most dull people I've ever heard of.
Well, and all the juicy bits have already come out. I mean, the book was put on the shelves in Spain 5 days earlier. I mean, was that a mistake?
Well,
What's that about?
I don't think it was. I think it was done deliberately. The book hasn't really kind of popped, like, I think, the way they wanted it to.
I'm sorry, Pete, stop for a second. Are you saying that they're being dishonest and conspiring in order to cause
I can't possibly comment on that.
I can't believe it.
I know, I don't like to pull them into disrepute, but...
No, but there's so many bits. I mean, what about the older lady where he lost his virginity to, who likes horses?
But some of it was truistic. I'm not being funny, but overprivileged public school boy takes cocaine age 17. Yeah. I mean, it's not exactly hold the front page.
I know,
I know, and having a scuffle with your brother. You know, how many of us have had fights with family members?
Sibling has fight. I'll tell you one thing though. He's the first member of the army to admit being put on his bum by somebody from the RAF. That is bad.
But the thing is, I'm afraid Harry's lost his own family through this. He's lost his military family, and he nearly lost something else, his crown jewels, didn't he? With the old frostbitten
Was he? So it was at William and Kate's wedding. Was he a frostbitten penis at a wedding?
Well, the thing is, I knew Meghan from before Harry, and she was used to the old, used to the cold shoulder, but she wasn't used to the cold willy.
Oh, there we go. I mean, I was going to make a joke that I've had similar problems because when I go out on a date, my penis is in Siberia. But anyway, that's not true. I normally do well. Anna, what do you think? Look, is this undignified? Is this an example of somebody having not 30 pieces of silver, but $20 million?
And it's just the fact that he's made a career kind of, monetising off slating the royal family. I mean, with my previous involvement with the royal family, of charity, volunteering and everything, they came together last year with the Diana Award when they were kind of pointing the 20 people across the world who recognised for their charitable efforts in Diana's name. And they seem to be quite a united front then. So I'm quite surprised now that he's kind of come forward and is then like berating the royal family like this and bringing them down the gutter.
He compared Diana to the light of the Big Bang. Yeah. And you think to yourself, it's almost like one of those people who sort of swallowed a thesaurus. You know, it's like Russell Brand, where, they're no longer speaking intelligent English.
And it's also, why would you keep your royal title and all the privileges that come with that if you hate your family so much? Like, drop the titles. But he has said today that he has no intention of dropping them. So it's like, so you're going to talk badly about your own family, monetise off it, put it everywhere, and not drop the title.
Now, Matt, I've got to ask you this. Look, in the book, he says that he had to explain to Meghan, this was after the William fight, why he had scratches on his back, shards of dog bowl in his bum, and his necklace had been damaged. I'm not being funny. Do you think it was actually William that caused that?
Well, if I were dating or married to someone like Meghan, if I have a fun night the night before, I'm probably going to have to come up with a fake story like that as well. So I think something else happened.
How many times have you had dog bowl shard in your buttocks?
What, this week? No, the funny thing is, credit to Harry, he really dislikes the media, so he uses media for his own platform. He says that the family and William are, is spreading all the private conversations, leaking. Well, he literally, not just in his book, but with his own best friend, Tom Bradby on ITV, started actually completely exposing one-sided conversations and very, very detailed private stuff. And my whole issue with this is not really about the family gossip. I'm a monarchist rather than just a royalist. And this is actually completely undermining national security and the Constitution and everything else. That's my issue.
I'll tell you what I found extraordinary with Tom Bradby. I don't know what you think about this, Pete. I kept wanting to say, who? Who? He sat there going, oh, yeah, there are some people who've been leaking. There are some people in my... Who?
Yeah, give me a name.
They haven't gone in front of a journalist that isn't on their side. I'd have had tremendous respect for them if they'd have gone in front of a journalist or a commentator or whoever who isn't like on the Sussex's side.
Like the ultimate sycophants.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, so like they had Oprah and Anderson Cooper and all the rest. So of course they're going to be on this side. They fall in that side of the political spectrum. So of course they believe that the royal family is racist. They always naturally do. So I'd really have more respect for them. Which I don't, it can't go any lower if I'm being honest. But if they'd actually, have a difficult interview.
But you'd have more respect for them if they were a lettuce from the planet Zork.
That's true.
Not lettuce, Liz Truss. The thing is, when you do an interview, you're supposed to challenge, aren't you?
Yeah.
It was such an easy ride. And the thing is, Tom never mentioned the Taliban. What about Harry saying he killed 25 of the Taliban? That was never brought up.
I don't think it was that was as much of a problem. Because, of course, if you're in some sort of military asset like a helicopter, you can do that. Chess pieces on a board. I mean, actually, I think that most soldiers would be respectful to the soldiers that they fight and the soldiers they kill.
But it's not the way you behave. And I knew someone that was actually in Afghanistan with Harry, had 3 tours with Harry, and that is not what you do, how you behave. It goes against every grain of being in the army, and it's also put them at security risk. And that is why he won't be at King Charles' coronation, because of the security now.
Now you were a friend of Meghan Markle's. You got ghosted like somebody else of this parish, Piers Morgan. How much of her did you see in this? Because I just think that Harry's not the sharpest tool in the box. I mean, no, let's not be rude. He got a B in art, apparently his own work, and a D in geography, definitely his own work. But he's not the sharpest tool in the box. I was always told that he was a big believer in public duty, and hey, look, he served his country in the military. It sounded quite American, all of these interviews. And the book sounds, I'm not being funny, but vomit-inducingly American.
Well, sadly for me, I think he's had too long with therapists. He was using strap lines. It wasn't coming from him. It sounded like therapist talk. Yeah. But sadly for me, I think this is Harry. I think a lot of us have always poked the finger at Meghan, saying it's Meghan's doing. This is Harry. And don't forget, he's nearly 40 years old. He's a grown man. And you could see he's had so many grievances from such a young age with all his family. He didn't stop moaning. In fact, I fell asleep halfway through.
When he sat there going, my dad cut me off from my allowance and my house wasn't very big. You're nearly 40, son. You're not being funny, right? Can you imagine me? Like, literally, this big fat porker. I'm 42 years old. Can you imagine me caking to talkTV and going, I'm so angry my father cut me off? Like, exactly. Man.
But what annoyed me the most with all of this is he's gone on about the press, the media, blaming them, the royal leaks, and there he is. His father has just buried his own father, Prince Philip, and then he's saying what his father had said to him, saying, don't make my last days a misery. For me, that is unforgivable.
Yeah. Absolutely. OK, well, look, is it true or false? And I'll just read it out. We'll see. No, in fact, I'm going to do my version. Was he a spur frostbitten penis at a wedding?
Yes, it's true.
It's absolutely true. Okay. Well, they got the relatively easy question. Here we go. So, Maya and Anna. NHS dentist shortage is so bad that 4 in 10 Brits have tried pulling their own teeth out. Look, can the NHS come back from any of this?
I don't think so, and I think many people have lost trust in the NHS. I mean, over Christmas, for example, I was very ill, and for over a week, I think I had the strep A that was going around. I called the pharmacy, and I was actually told on the phone that I'm taken away from a real emergency. So I think, especially for some people that, older generation, they told me that before asking me, my name, my age. They just said, if you do get this appointment, you will be taken away for an emergency. Imagine like an older person who's been told that, they're kind of invalidated in what they're, experiencing, and it might actually detract people from getting the help that they need.
Now, I'm not being funny, but I was ill over Christmas. Three bottles of Baileys. I was like that. I was destroyed. Also, I'll tell you something. Never drink any of those Irish creams that are 3 years old.
It
got nasty. It all coagulated at the bottom.
Can I just piggyback off the back of that there? That there's 2 real problems when it comes to the dentist's issue. One is access and the other is cost. There was some polling done, I'm going to be the nerd of the group again, and there was some polling done just before Christmas that 90% of dental practices aren't taking on new patients. 90% in the country. That is an astronomical figure. Mayer's perfectly right that if we go back to 2008 when the new dental kind of workaround or whatever you want to call it was implemented. That was under the Labour government. It was a complete catastrophe then. Everybody said it was. And it's just been kicked into the long grass. And this programme has been left to foster.
Well, let me give you a piece of advice on dentistry. Right, I've not got the greatest dentistry in the world, but I will tell you, the first 2 sets are free. The third one, I could have bought a BMW. Anyway, I'll guarantee you, they're not real. They're not real. Anyway,
I'm getting Ryland's second lot. You know, he's had his new ones. He's saved me his old set. So
my goodness me, Lizzie Cundy is so desperate to hang around with celebrities, she's borrowing Ryland's false teeth.
I am. I've got
unbelievable. Ryland doesn't have false teeth. Let's just be clear about that. I don't want to get sued.
No, I won't. I really am having them. But one thing you've got to remember...
Sorry. You're actually getting Ryland's old teeth.
He promised me them for Christmas. I'm very happy.
I mean, what sort of... Sorry. When I write to Father Christmas, can you imagine? Cindy doll, latest toy, bit of Lego, Ryland's teeth.
Ryland's teeth. He's got the best smile in showbiz. Made him a star.
But you know what? He's got a nice arm. I wouldn't steal it off him.
You're not like me. I'd steal anything. But the thing is, what you've got to remember, you've got to be very careful with your teeth. As we were saying, can't get dentist appointment, can't get a dentist. My mum puts a coin in the Christmas pudding. Who bites on it?
Oh, well, let me just say the thing that I've always made clear. If you take medical advice or dental advice from a political commentator, you're an idiot. So let's just disregard all that. That's largely because we don't want to get sued. But anyway, have 4 in 10 people considered pulling their own teeth out due to NHS shortages. Is it true or false?
It's true.
It's true, yes.
It's true.
It is absolutely true. OK, so, Lizzie and Pete, the BBC has wasted £7 million on new logos that look exactly the same as the old one. Now, I think the critical thing to this question is it only 7 million? Is it only
7 million? I think it's going to be my first point. Is it only 7 million?
We've been here before with this quiz.
We have.
Things going to be carefully written.
No, this is...
we know this is true.
Yeah, but no, I don't know if you've seen these new logos.
Yeah.
They look like they were done by a 4-year-old. My big thing is, which company has designed them? Because they have taken the BBC for every bit of money they could get out of them.
Oh, I'm not being funny, but a PR firm takes public sector.
Yeah, I know.
hold the front page.
Yeah, but who's responsible for this? Someone must be accountable.
That's the real story behind this. Is that this is yet again the BBC are a public institution spending astronomical amounts of money and nobody being accountable for who signed the cheque or who gave this approval. Because I'm not being funny. If I did that in where I work, with that amount of money, I'd have been given a pink slip and shown the door.
Exactly. We're all paying our BBC licence fee. I can still pay mine, by the way. I'm not that old. But someone should be accountable for this.
Lizzie, we've been told not to make any further jokes about your age, right? But Maya, I'll tell you what we need to get the BBC to do. Your We Are the Media logo. We need to get the same firm. By the way, we're allowed to talk about the Mahyar Tousi YouTube channel because that's not promoting because nobody can spell it. Right? So we're all right there. OK, so your logo, how much did that cost? No, do you know what he's done? He's literally exploited some Chinese child who's done it for a £5.
No, it was like an 18-year-old subscriber on my YouTube channel. He messaged me. I was like, yeah, why not?
Really? So you got it for free?
But I did bump into him in a pub in Westminster. I bought him a pint.
Water a pint. That's for the big spenders.
£5 for a logo.
I was going to say, but you drinking Wetherspoons, that's £1.99.
No, to be fair, the whole issue with the BBC is the Conservative Party did the same thing about 10 years ago, 12 years ago when they changed their logo, that tree. That cost a lot of money for no reason. The BBC got desperate. This idea came out about a year ago, and this whole project took them over a year to actually sort out the logos and everything else. It's just desperation. The people at the top, they're so out of touch because they're under pressure from the DCMS and the media department. They think that they might lose their license by 2027. So they thought, if we just change the decoration of what we are, then we could say we are.
What we really need to do is rearrange the chairs on the deck of the Titanic.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Lizzie and Pete, 7 million new logos. Sorry, only 7 million. Only 7 million new logos. Is it true or false?
True.
I think it's true.
It is absolutely true. Now listen, we're doing OK here. 43 points to you and 27 points to you. That's all to do with the editing.
That's all to do.
Can't do things necessarily in chronological order. Anyway, to Maya and to Anna. Students have slammed the University of Winchester for wasting £24,000 on a life-size statue of Greta Thunberg. How dare you? You've ruined my childhood. How dare you?
£24,000 a life size, so this big. Because she's tiny. How is that so expensive?
Furbies are cheap.
To be fair, considering we have our own Greta, which is Shamima Bacon, the British Greta Thunberg, we have a big problem right now because a lot of political debates and these cultural debates is about, I'm going to support someone just to oppose you. So a lot of people who are backing Greta are simply backing her because they say, well, some people are mean to Greta. They don't even care about the ideas.
Yeah.
They don't even pay attention. So they will literally start building statues without knowing why they're doing it.
But Anna, here's the critical question, and it's for a bonus 50 points.
What?
Right, bonus
That's
50
not
points.
fair.
Come on. Right, because I'm lost by this one, and now admittedly, I've already told you I'm older.
Okay.
I'm lost by this one. What is the woke objection to Greta Thunberg? Because I understand Thomas Guy. I understand all these people in history. I even understand Winston Churchill. But I thought like she was the ultimate one. Berghaus jacket and my childhood is being ruined. They love her, don't they?
They what? Sorry.
They love her.
Yeah, I think because I think for some people she sort of represents the whole like kind of climate change brigade. But in terms of the students, I'm not surprised because I think especially for me, I'm about to finish my final year of university. And I feel like I haven't had a university, the kind of experience that was sold to us when I signed up. And I feel like for the university, they're kind of distracting from the main problem. We'll put a statue of Greta Thunberg and now we care about climate change. That will shut the students up. Yeah. But I think many people are just really unhappy with the experience that they've been sold.
Well, yeah. I think that we have to give her a round of applause and give her the 50 points because I think, yes, they don't dislike Greta. It was the 24 grand they were concerned about. I think it's a reasonable point. Also, but anyway, is it true or false?
Well, before I say that, I don't think we should build a statue of someone who has a haircut of a Hitler Youth.
We've talked about Greta before. I mean, she does have the styling of the young German man. It's not a typically modern look, is it?
No, I mean, but what's Andrew Tate going to do? He's going to go and throw snowballs at it, isn't he?
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Right, I'll tell you my problem with Andrew Tate. I don't know who he is and I don't care. Is it true or false?
Yeah,
it is true.
Yeah,
it's true.
It is absolutely true.
That was The Woke That Was, continues after the break. Welcome back to That Was The Woke That Was.
ISIS bride Shamima Bacon is launching a new weekly podcast for the BBC. It's called I'm Not a Monster.
But
Please tell me not.
And this is one of those where we're hoping it's false.
Yeah.
I'm hoping and praying this is false.
I'm not going to lie. Every
sadly-
time I come on this show, I hope all of these questions are false.
Yeah.
Now, I always remember what Johnny Gould said about her. To be fair to Shamima Bacon, she does look good in a baseball cap.
Yeah.
Which I think is a reasonable point.
But why are they giving her this time? Why are they giving her this opportunity?
Because basically they're trying to make her out to some
Because
kind
Channel
of
4
victim.
said no.
Yeah, pretty much. But I know how. Do you know how we talk about like we had jungle washing with Matt Hancock and all that? If you look what they've done to Shamima Bacon, they've Western washed her. If you notice now, she's 23 years old. She's got her ears pierced, she's got her nose pierced. Like she's out of the traditional garbs and all the rest of it. She's looking more like a more Western figure. And this is to try and sell her back to the public. That's what this is about. It's about to redo her image.
But we've got to remember this girl, though she was young and a teenager, she knew exactly what she was doing.
Her problem is, let's be clear. Shamima Bacon's issue is that her terrorist organisation got defeated.
Yeah.
She wasn't fundamentally complaining about living there. Now, there are some ISIS brides who hated the place.
Yeah.
She's not one of them. She got beat. But the other thing that amazes me, and going back to the whole issue of Greta Thunberg, right, so these girls are the same age. One of them we have to listen to. Oh, she's saving the world. She understands everything as a 15, 16-year-old, 17-year-old. The other one is she's only a child. She doesn't understand anything.
Yeah.
There's no consistency.
Exactly.
there's a difference between being a competent victimhood sort of personality and an incompetent one. So Greta is a competent one, whereas people like Shamima, for example, initially she got groomed by the Islamists. Then she's now getting groomed by the liberal woke stars.
Yeah.
Next, who's next? BNP? Like, probably 5 years ago.
That's right. That's right. What she's doing is she's moving so far now.
She'll be having Nicola Sturgeon.
Relatively soon she'll be having dinner with the EDL.
I just think, like, you can get arrested for a mean tweet and people will shame you and make you look like the worst person possible. And then the BBC, who are like taxpayer funded, they're trying to make Shamima Bacon into sort of a hero, and we should sympathise with her and what she went through. And I just think it's so disgusting.
Yeah, she joined the most brutal, horrific
100%.
group, extremely Islamic
what amazes me about ISIS, she comes from East London, turning up in Syria to local Christians going, "You're crusaders." I'm not being funny, love. They come from Bethnal Green. What are you doing? Anyway, look, the BBC, I mean, this is just depressing, isn't it? But have the BBC decided to give Shamima a weekly podcast called I Am Not a Monster? Please. Right, by the way, it's like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I don't know the answer until it comes up.
I'm afraid. Well, she's obviously trying to rebrand herself, like you said, but sadly, I think it's true.
I think it's true.
It is, alas, absolutely true. That's muted applause, if ever heard any. OK, so on to Anna and to Maya. Former Prime Minister Liz Truss has signed a 6-figure sum to join ITV's Loose Women. Now, here's the advice I'm going to give to everybody. If you want to go on Pointless at the end of your career or get your kids to go on that quiz show, Liz Truss. She is to politics what the Central African Republic is to geography questions.
I've got friends in Westminster Bubble in Parliament, and I can't really make the joke I want to make about Liz Truss and loose women.
Yeah.
No, to be fair, we all know about the turnip Taliban going crazy about that.
I said nothing.
That was nice.
Yeah, I love the way.
That was below the belt, literally.
I love the way that immediately mine just went, Anna.
Distraction now.
My truth.
I don't even know what she discussed that would even be worthy of, recognition more than being laughed at. It's embarrassing. She's very passionate about the pork markets. Yeah. She could go all day.
Pork markets and cheese. Well, it's an average weekend.
There you go. I just think her whole stint as Prime Minister, I think she's like the shortest Prime Minister.
Yeah, 45 days.
Yeah, 45 days. And I just think the whole thing is so embarrassing, especially for the Conservative Party. Yeah. They have no hope, I think, in the next general election.
Do you know what somebody said to me the other day? Right, and in fact, it was a singer from Liverpool who, and this is the psychology of the good people of Liverpool. I went to school there. They said, she's done well. That is the minimum period to qualify for the prime ministerial pension. Only somebody from Liverpool.
Exactly.
To be fair, she gets what is it?
120 grand.
Yes.
An extra 120 grand a year for life for the 43 days she spent in Downing Street. Well done,
I mean, that's
not bad work. We can't have the lettuce on loose women.
No. But no, let's be honest. It's just the most expensive welfare check there is in the country. That's all it is. I mean, I'm not being funny. I've never seen the media, the political establishment and the financial establishment turn on a person in unison like they did on Liz Truss. Mm-hmm. I mean, towards the end of it, I actually started to feel a bit sorry for her. Yeah. She looked dejected. She looked awful.
The big advantage about our current arrangements is, and I've said this before, Rishi Sunak will not be conspiring against the Prime Minister now. He's conspiring against every other Prime Minister. Unless, in an unbelievable move, he's conspiring against himself.
Exactly.
And that's why they're doing so badly in the opinion polls.
Because I think I was going to say, many of her policies actually would have worked. I think she had the backbone to actually stick by what she said. I think where people started to lose faith was when she started to U-turn. Like, she had this manifesto, then suddenly everything started to go backwards and say, oh, actually, we're not going to do this. So then many people were thinking, well, do you have the backbone to lead this country?
But see, I lost faith when she said, I'm a fighter and not a quitter. Wasn't that a Peter Mandelson quote? If you are quoting Peter Mandelson, then my advice is just give up.
Exactly. There's more U-turns. She can't go loose women because she'd say one opinion, then she'd be agreeing with someone else the next minute. She didn't stick to her guns. She wasn't the Margaret Thatcher, was she?
No.
I
think Lizzie's given you a clue. But is it true or false?
I think she'd try and keep quite a low profile for now. So, I'd say false.
It is false. Well done. Well done. So now it's 336 points to you and 418 to you. Really, really great quiz. Thank you.
Close.
Very close, very close. One question in it. Anyway, to Lizzie and to Pete, Rishi Sunak has been offered £1 million in exchange for going vegan for a month.
Oh, for God's sake. Snap. Well, no, I don't think so. And if he was going to do this, I don't think he'd admit to it, because he can't admit to anything. He doesn't tell the truth. You know, have you got private healthcare? Shifty, my dad worked in a chemist. Give us the answer, Rishi. He never is straight. So I don't think we'd get to the bottom of this.
But the thing that's amazing about this, look, even forget that. Even Piers Morgan would be willing to be a vegan for £1 million if it was only for a month. But Rishi Sunak's so rich, there's a possibility he wouldn't care.
Well, he wouldn't miss it, because he wouldn't.
Can you imagine being somebody who, if you won the double rollover lottery, that would still be not your biggest source of income? In fact, in his case, it would be third. It would be wife's money first, personal earnings, double lottery win, third.
Yeah.
I know.
No, but when we talk about the kind of advertising veganism, I presume that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if anybody's been on the tube recently, but you can't seem to move for adverts for like fake bacon and fake sausages and all that. Like, it is absolutely everywhere.
Oh,
and it's all over the buses as well. You can't
Pete,
move for it.
For regular viewers of this show, they'll know that I've railed against this, but I'm on one of those venture capitalist websites. They go, "We've reinvented meat. Is it a burger? Is it a burger? Have you reinvented?"
And those sausages don't taste like the real thing, do they?
Well, they're quite good if you wrap them in pancetta. I don't wrap them in pancetta. I wrap them in bacon, but as we're in the posh studio, I felt I should pretend.
Yes, we'll get posh.
There was one advert I saw, it says, the boomers had the property market, but we've got fake bacon. And I was like, I'd rather have the property market boom. Thank you very much.
I'd rather have an attractive property in Greenford.
Exactly.
I did try going vegan, though. It was tough. I kept dreaming about sausages.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Well, that's got nothing to do with it.
No, I did. I really did.
Lizzie,
But on this,
we were told to keep it clean.
I am keeping. That's your mind.
No, it's you
Andre.
thinking about Prince Harry and the frostbite.
Yes.
Frozen sausage.
Frozen sausage.
That is the level. That
Frozen
is the level.
sausage, and it was a little cocktail sausage as well.
Oh.
Anyway,
Chipolata. Oh, dear.
Chipolata. No, to be honest with this, I think, as you said, too much money. He wouldn't do it. He's got enough money. No.
It's about a political statement. I think the £1 million would go to charity. And I think Donald Trump was offered it before, and Joe Biden, and I think they just outright ignored it.
Could it be Joe Lycett, and what he's going to do is destroy the money and then not destroy it?
And then not destroy it.
I think it's about making a political statement, because if he doesn't take it, then it's like, he doesn't care about veganism.
I don't mean to be awful, but a few years ago, when I was doing quite well for myself, I had an American Express Platinum card, and they wrote to me, you know your annual rewards, and it said, what you can do is you can either build a well in Africa or have a weekend in Paris. And I'll be honest with you, I was thinking, that well is important, and it is 40 people, but at the end of the day, the Champs-Élysées is great.
Paris.
But charity begins at home, Lizzie.
It does begin at home. And look, I have to say, as we said, Rishi's got so much money, and he'd have to give it away to charity. And would he ever admit it? Because he doesn't admit to anything, does he?
No.
The man that parachuted into number 10.
So you're saying that
not
it's
elected.
false?
I think it's false.
It is absolutely true. But see, Lizzie, the mistake you made was he hasn't said yes. He was just offered. She wasn't listening to the question. Do you know what used to happen at school? They used to go, read the question. Read the
Got
question.
too excited.
Read the question. She did get excited, but that was the frozen sausage chipolata. Anyway, so Maya and Anna, you're pulling ahead now. OK, so this is important. So, since taking office, Joe Biden has spent 282 days on vacation, and that's 40% of his presidency. Now, in this question, just to understand it, it's not what he thinks, it's whether it's been recorded officially. Because we know that given one day he lost his door.
And I'm guessing that doesn't include the time he's sleeping, because that's 364 days.
And amazing, actually, that his holidays are not noted, whereas with Donald Trump, his visits to Mar-a-Lago, every single one of them.
But that's the hypocrisy of also the mainstream media in America and the political left, where Trump, not just when he was going golfing or anything else, even if he left the White House to go somewhere quickly, like Waitrose, they would literally be on him, be on top of the case every single minute. Whereas with Biden, I think it goes with the whole theory that he's not actually running the show. And he's made a mistake so many times when he's on the stage saying, President Kamala Harris. Like, you're not helping the conspiracy theories.
I've just got to say one thing to you. God bless you, but you're railing against the mainstream media. We've got all these cameras. Look at the state of this place. There's about 800 lights up here. And let's be clear, a woman came earlier with a choice of jackets and then fitted you with one. And he sat there going, oh, these mainstream media people. Oh, I'm such a renegade. Get me another jacket. Put my makeup on and do the hair.
Well, we should change a word. You know, they used to be calling it legacy
Is it
media.
possible you're a giant hypocrite? It was like that great moment. It's like that great moment when he railed against the blue ticks on Twitter. then when they offered him one, he had to say no because he was just so angry.
Yes,
It was bad.
But on this one, I find it quite funny, though, because if you think about it, I bet Americans are quite happy when he's on holiday, because it can't be any worse than when he's actually at work, can it? If you think about it. But also, if you look at the kind of official days that he does, because they have to release what he does during the day, there's like huge gaps in it. So what's again? Is he just having a nap?
He's having a nap.
We're going to ask, has he taken 40% off so far?
Yes.
Unfortunately, yes, probably.
Yes,
Yeah.
It is absolutely true. Well done.
That was The Woke That Was continues after the break. Welcome back to That Was The Woke That Was.
The NHS is wasting $8 million a year on diversity and inclusion jobs.
Look, the NHS, what a shambles it
It's
is
an
at the
absolute
minute,
mess.
and such a waste of money. It's so mismanaged, and from head to toe, it needs a whole
it's
reboot.
ridiculous. But one thing you have to remember is that this kind of diversity and inclusion stuff, it's a massive industry now.
Yes.
And that's why it's not going anywhere. There was some studies done that between 2018 and 2021, the number of jobs that had diversity or inclusion in the title had gone up by 115% in that time. So, like, this stuff isn't going anywhere. And again, we have to remember that this isn't the government making these decisions. These are the people running the NHS.
Yeah.
These are the people at the top of the NHS.
This is. I mean, obviously, we're here to have a bit of a laugh, but this is a serious point that I always think. Look, if you look at what Tony Blair said about the stakeholder society, the whole purpose of that was whichever way you vote, it's all run by the quangos, it's all run by executive agencies. Everything is done by consulting vested interests. Nobody, whichever way you vote. I mean, nobody can tell me how I can vote to change the NHS and kick these lot out.
Yeah, but it's really difficult because if anyone criticises the NHS, it's like a political football. You get really told off. You can't say
That's the
anything.
thing, whether the actual amount is correct, because we know they are wasting money on these diversity roles, whether it's 8 million, 80 million, whatever.
Yeah.
And all this research done by Taxpayers Alliance, many others. I think we need a new freedom of information kind of request on not just the cost of the roles, but the cost of the operation of it. Because they're going to have the meetings, they're going to have resources, they're going to have to get together, they're going to basically take away time from working hours, not just the actual roles.
Maya, no, actually, Barnsley would be even funnier. Barnsley, if you self-define as an Afghan woman, right, and apply for a diversity job, I'll give you 500 quid. If you make it to the interview, I'll give you £1,000. If you get the job, well, keep the job, because you'll be quite well paid.
Why can't I be an
have to shave
Afghan
that
woman?
beard.
This one might have to go.
I'll tell you what I'll try and do. I mean, I once proposed one of my friends for Scrap Heap Challenge. Right, I'm going to go through all the diversity jobs in The Guardian. Presumably that's where they are. Guardian makes no money apart from diversity jobs. I'll apply for a diversity job and try and make it to the interview.
I think that would be a brilliant TV series. I'm not going to lie.
Can you imagine? Actually, Barnsley, this would be my hidden camera series.
Yeah, exactly.
Andre does diversity.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was the
show.
jobs, not the dance troupe.
But we talk about like staff shortages on the front lines of the NHS. I think if you kind of work it out, I suppose. Well, the average wage of a nurse is what, about £33,000. Yep. I think it would probably work out at about maybe 250 nurses that this money could have been spent on.
Yeah.
That's the scandal of this. When people talk about more funding going into the NHS, which is what most people in this country want, they don't want it going on this stuff.
Absolutely right.
That's the point.
And it's so mismanaged, and they have to do something. They really do.
It sounds like you're going to... I think I know what you're going to say, but here we go. Is it true or false that the NHS is wasting $8 million a year on this?
Yes,
True.
Absolutely true. Well done. OK, sticking with the NHS theme to Maya and to Anna. Guy's Hospital in London has announced plans to change their name to People's Hospital after complaints that the name is sexist. Now, bear in mind, the name is after Sir Thomas Guy. Yeah. But has anybody been stupid enough to think that it's a reference to men?
Absolutely.
I'm very much against people's things. Because even from a right-wing perspective, we're not America. We don't do people's this, people's that. It's just nonsensical. But one of the issues that we have with the whole NHS thing, any normal universal healthcare system is there to take care of the people. But in this country, it's only the NHS that we are here to look after the actual healthcare system. And every single thing we do, we have to make sure that we're protecting
I thought then you were going to talk about normal people. I had a friend of mine who went to NUS conference, and you had to say what your dietary requirements were, and you went, just normal. That is a disgrace. Everyone is normal. There's no such thing. It's a disgrace. Oh, he was like just normal.
I think everywhere, I think it's about sort of spewing and promoting the ideological narrative. It's not even about people's healthcare anymore. I mean, we have a backlog of, I think, when I saw last time, was 7.2 million people who are waiting for NHS appointments, and even more on the waiting list for like urgent care. And I think they're so focused on issues that really don't matter at the end of the day when people are still waiting for these appointments.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know the word guy replaced with people. I think
so important.
Yeah, but I think it goes back to what you were saying, Andre, that are people that stupid to think that it's actually named after a person called Guy? And in my opinion, there are people out there that stupid. I think when we've spoken on this kind of topic before,
stupid.
I've called you worse. But no, you brought it up one last time that about Gladstone Hall in Manchester, that's named after William Gladstone, a very famous abolitionist before abolition was a word. And there was that much uproar about because he was seen as an old colonial name. And he's like, no, this guy actually did something.
My favourite one in Manchester was when the Free Trade Hall went bankrupt and the council tried to take it into public ownership. It's the Free Trade Hall. And they go, the Free Trade Hall can't fall into private hands. What are you on about? It is literally a monument to things falling into private hands. Anyway, so has Guy's Hospital considered renaming itself People's Hospital on the grounds that somebody thought it was sexist?
I don't think they will decide themselves there. I think they question that.
I feel like there would have been a lot more about it on the news, people discussing it, because
I'll say false.
Supporting it, whatever. I'm going to say false as well.
It is absolutely false. Thank goodness. Well done. Okay, so sometimes the questions end up in an order, which makes them really quite easy. But anyway, nonetheless, I will read this. H from Steps has blocked thousands of right-wing commentators on Twitter, including Peter Barnes. You.
Yes.
Now, that's not... By the way, that's not your dad, Peter Barnes.
No, that's me.
This is literally a question about you.
Hold on, what did you say? Because I know H is a good fellow.
So story time. I actually have never interacted with H from Steps. Never interacted with him.
You liar.
So why is he
So
blocking?
basically, he went on this kind of big blocking spree of kind of right-wing commentators, people who are gender critical, people who are conservatives, and it was this big thing over Twitter. I think it was about Christmas time, I think, when this kind of happened. And I actually saw it because a friend of mine said he got blocked. So I thought, oh, go on, I'll see if I've made the list kind of thing. And yep, sure enough, I'd been blocked as well. And then everybody was kind of screenshotting it and then retweeting it. And it just became this big thing. And it was like hashtag blocked by H. Yeah. It was trending and it trended for like a week.
I reckon what I should do, because I was in the same boat, is go, tragedy, when H is gone and you can't go on, it's tragedy. But you don't know why you're going nowhere.
Right, okay, you know that a bit too well.
Steps way too well, okay.
I did learn the dance.
I'm going to say, I have to admit, when I was in primary school, I think I knew the dance.
Do you think H had too many Baileys or sherries and he just got a little bit
I think that's probably what it
excited?
was, if I'm being honest. I think he kind of went, he had too many, like you said, too many sherries over Christmas, went on a bit of a blocking spree, and then he kind of got stuck in a rabbit hole. And,
I think I give him more credit, because I'll praise his efforts, because when I noticed I was blocked, and I noticed who else is saying who's blocked, actually, there was a proper campaign that he created, because he went after people that I knew of, but like regionally, locally. Yeah. Like some random centrist who said something about lower taxes. That person got blocked.
So, hold on a minute.
Hang on. Actually.
I've been blocked. H has blocked me.
Look, no, let's...
I've supported him. I've helped him.
Stop, everybody. Right. Breaking news now that Lizzie Cundy has been blocked by H from Steps. I'm joined now in the studio with Mrs. Cundy. Lizzie, how are you?
I'm absolutely gutted, actually. First time I've
So
been blocked.
we've often said, Lizzie, that you always talk about your celebrity friends, and it's often been said on this show, the only celebrity you don't own up to being friends with is Adolf Hitler, right? But this is somebody who actually now has blocked you.
Yeah, H has blocked me.
So can we now check something? I think it's worth checking.
Yeah.
Who has been blocked here by H from Steps?
I haven't actually checked.
Right,
Okay,
get your
check
check.
it right now.
I'm rather upset.
I've been blocked.
So actually, we are looking now at the very real possibility that everybody in this studio, of course, it's talkTV, of course.
I love that man.
I
I've
haven't
helped
been
him.
blocked.
Oh!
You're not right-wing enough.
I'm not right-wing enough.
Not right-wing enough. Get out.
Actually, what we need to do is, so you've not been blocked by H from Steps, but you need to be cast out of this studio.
Exactly.
If you like by
I
H,
tell you what, I'm hurt.
you've had worse.
Yeah.
You've had worse.
I actually
Well-
think Mahyar brought up a really interesting point there about how it's because kind of even people who aren't like ourselves doing these kind of TV shows, it was just random people who he's gone after. It's a real guilt by association thing. I don't think it's not the.
It's your fault I've been blocked because I've sitting next to you.
It's like H is like the Kim Jong-un of Twitter, isn't it? Literally, if you are related to, have met, or in any way involved with anybody, then you get stopped by it. You've been put into the Twitter version
Last time
of
it's
H's North Korea.
Last time this happened, I got cancelled by Indonesia.
I know, yeah.
I know about that.
Good time.
I all
Listen,
know about
H is
that.
a lovely guy. We've got to forgive him. You've been blocked by everyone else. Don't
So,
worry.
H, I mean, I don't even know why I'm reading this question out, but let's go
Anyway.
H from Steps has blocked thousands of right-wing commentators, including everyone in this studio. Is that true or false?
True.
It is absolutely true.
That was The Woke That Was continues after the break. Welcome back to That Was The Woke That Was.
So this is to decide who wins the entire game.
What?
Right. So come on, focus. The Vatican has released a new range of flavoured holy water in an attempt to attract younger people. Primus, do you reckon? Pontiff.
What's next? Vape? Holy vape?
The Holy Spirit.
It's funny. I mean, well, it's dark funny. Until a few years ago, I would have put like the ultra Catholics and Catholicism and ultra Islamism, similar category in terms of the actual hardcore fundamental values. But now the Vatican is going woke.
Yeah.
The only non-woke religion left is Islam. So when is Islam getting woke?
I just love the way that we've managed to get to a point where we're saying the Islamists of ISIS, well, at least they're not socialists. I mean, come on. Is that the level we've got to? Also, I'm not being funny. We recently buried Pope Benedict, Joseph Ratzinger. He was hardly a left-winger, was he?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Given that he was in charge of the Inquisition, not the Spanish Inquisition, the global Inquisition that ran the Spanish Inquisition.
Yes.
Right? That is not somebody who's going to join their local Lib Dem focus team anytime soon, is it? So Anna, you are the youngest person here.
Excuse me.
Allegedly.
There's bits of Lizzie's chest that are only but for the most part, Lizzie is older.
Yes,
right. So
slightly.
on average, Lizzie might be a bit younger than you, but chronologically, legally, she is older.
Still going.
Careful.
Come on, keep digging. So Anna, have you bought a bottle of Prime? Are you a big fan? I thought, by the way, I thought KSI was a type of detective show. then I thought it might be a fraternity at Stanford University.
Well, I think a long time ago, I think religion and the church was a very important and kind of integral part of everyone's lives. But I think, as we've progressed and everything, I think especially on social media with especially gender ideology, I think a lot of people with kind of what they're spewing online, I think they're actually turning young people away from the church. So maybe this specific question might not be true.
I'm not being funny, though, with the Catholic Church, and I am a Catholic myself. I mean, it's a bit funny, a bloke walking around in a frock complaining about transgenderism. There is a degree of hypocrisy there.
Listen, I was brought up with nuns. I know you might be surprised. I was brought up with nuns in a convent. And the Pope, this Pope we have now, is pushing away the younger lot because he's stopping all the sort of Latin Mass, the tradition, and the youngsters want
No, I'm
that.
sorry, Lizzie.
And
How many?
I do feel this could be true.
Lizzie, how many people do you think, younger people, are pushed away from Catholicism as a result of their reduction in the use of Latin?
They missed the traditional Latin Mass. You spoke to my priest. It's true.
Well, I've got the Silver Order of the Guild of St. Stephen.
Oh, well, no one likes to show off, darling.
I feel like this question is one of the sensitive
Still can't
topics.
speak a
So
word of Latin.
we're going to go to the lawyer's office after this.
I mean, I'm an Anglican. I have no idea what any of you lot are talking about.
Look, don't worry. Latin's easy. Mintus, tintus, bintus, gintus, something like that, right? Roughly. No, gintus is a type of pasty, isn't it? Anyway, so to win the whole game.
Okay.
And by the way, Anna, you didn't answer whether you'd bought a bottle of Prime.
I don't think I'd need to.
I love the way she doesn't know what it is. She doesn't know what Logan Paul is, but she assumes it's a type of sock. Anyway, so to win the entire game, Maya and Anna, is it true that the Vatican has released a new range of flavoured holy water in an attempt to attract younger people?
I hope it's not true.
No, it's not true.
It is absolutely false. And congratulations, you have won the game. Congratulations to our runners-up, who are Lizzie Cundy and Pete Barnes, but especially congratulations to Mahyar Tousi and indeed to Anna McGovern. I'm off now to attend a James Corden lookalike competition. Until next time, goodbye.